Hey everyone, we're inside today on a rainy afternoon finishing up this video, where we'll be in New York City back in the spring, walking the entire length of the High Line, a former elevated freight railroad that's been turned into a linear park in Greenspace, where along the way we'll get great views of the city and get to check out some pretty cool public art commissions. And then for the next couple videos we'll be jumping around a little bit and doing them out of order. We'll be starting with a couple that I just shot back in September. My hat might give you a hint as to where we'll be going, and you'll see why it was important to post them before the end of October. But for now, let's go to New York on a beautiful spring evening and check out the High Line. We're starting at the southern terminus of the High Line, overlooking the intersection of Gansevoort and Washington Streets. This is in the Meatpacking District of southern Manhattan. From here, we'll be walking the entire length of the line up to West 34th Street. That's my wife and daughter, who you'll see walking with me at times along the route. There are public restrooms here at the High Line headquarters, and this building also holds the Whitney Museum of American Art. It was a breezy, warm May evening when I filmed this. Hopefully the occasional wind noise isn't too bothersome. The trail is on the line of a former elevated freight railroad, restored as a public green space in the 2000s. Along the way, we'll see many nods to its railroad origins, and also gardens, plazas, and many works of public art. Not to mention the fantastic views of Lower Manhattan and the Hudson River. While we let this group pass, here's a look at how some sections have been left wild in their self-seated state from prior decades of disuse. This art commission is called Unmodern and represents the primordial mother in Sami culture of northern Scandinavia. This building is the Standard Hotel, built on pillars right over the line. Later, we'll pass through some older buildings that originally had a freight terminal right off the line on their third floors. This commission is of biomorphic car shapes, blending a soft organic form with a digital glitch art-like skin. Its quite long title is Car Grass Screen 2 and Car Body Screen 2. It is by Tisan Shu. At some points, like this, you'll have a choice of different paths to take.
Ну да, здесь вот есть Нью-Йорк, много диких инструментов есть знакомые, которые снимают.
Here at 860 Washington, it sounds like there was a video installation, though I didn't see it from this side.
From the 1964-65
There was also some signage here explaining the history of the High Line. There's wayfinding signage like this along the line to orient yourself. Looks like these sun loungers were very popular on this sunny, warm evening. In a moment, we'll pass under the end of Chelsea Market, through the loading dock of the historic Nabisco building. I wonder if you could once smell the aroma of Oreo cookies and Nilla wafers being baked here. There's just a quick glimpse to the left of the Hudson and 14th Street Park below. Yeah. These look like they might be stalls for food vendors, perhaps. Just to the left here, mounted on the pole, is A Totem for the High Line by Jamaican-American artist Arthur Sims.
야, 여기 펄을 넣었습니다.
We are approaching the 10th Avenue viewpoint, one of the signature features of the line.
Will you sit for a minute?
Let's go take a quick look. The views of traffic looking up 10th Ave are mesmerizing.
Yeah. There's that building you didn't like in the video.
Yeah, those are apartments, right? Yeah, I don't like that building.
That was my wife critiquing the Lantern apartment building ahead with its curved glass walls. This billboard at West 18th Street has installations for just a few months at a time. From March to June of 2025, this was Soft Power by Alex DeCourt.
And the two of us.
Well, no, that's what I'm curious about because it's all. By then, yes, you see school.
There's a quick view of the Empire State Building you can see from here.
Yeah. You're right. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Look at these advertising right there, and it's right there. That is your.
Congratulations.
Sì, che non palchiamo per
This sculpture is titled Birth of Islands and represents material entities in states of transformation. This section felt very woodsy, but also just a bit narrow and closed in on both sides.
Oh, are you gonna go
To the dogwoods?
We got two.
So that afterwards, when you come to this open section with the breeze off the river, it feels especially nice. This beautiful allegorical mural is The Creation of the Creatures of Day and Night by Rosanna Paulino. It represents a pair of Afro-Brazilian female figures as mythological mangrove entities. The shading and deep hues were just great. Right here, to the left, you'll just get a quick view of the bench-like fossil psychic stone mimicry by Kirsten Breach, with people sitting on it.
Was you listening to something? Later.
Production.
That tallest building ahead is 30 Hudson Yards, with the Edge viewing deck near the top, which is the highest in the Western Hemisphere.
Change your whole perception.
Reminds me of the East Bank.
How do you think Billy is in Hollywood?
Want to rest? Okay.
Do that.
He has this also. Yeah.
Look at the view.
This suspended section was interesting. You felt like you were floating above the tree canopy.
I think when we get to those buildings, it turns left and then we're almost to the end. Huh? Oh, really? I kind of like that smell.
It smells like vanilla perfume.
Who knows? What?
.528 West 28th Street by Zaha Hadid on the left has a cool, almost Star Wars-looking architecture.
Oh, and then this building this looks like Andor. Very Star Wars.
an older.
To the right is the multi-part "The Sun is a Flame That Haunts the Night" by Tai Shani. The flames are lit and glow beautifully at night.
I imagine that there were still trains going. Yeah. When people lived here. When you lived here, that was
Yeah.
Can you imagine this? It's like the worst chocolate bar. Yeah. And that was cheap. Can it? Hurry up. Now you just look out on. I know. Oh my God. Walk. I mean, you could. They could pull a Jersey train. That fire. Right? I'd be sitting there smoking. That's life, eh?
You can just start to see ahead where the line begins a curve to the west. On the left, you can just see the immense slidable glass canopy of the Bloomberg building at The Shed, a modern performance and art exhibition space. Just behind the shed is also a glimpse of The Vessel, an architecture and observation platform experience. If you turn right here, there's an extension of the line east to Moynihan Train Hall at Penn Station. Straight ahead, semi-obscured by the tree, you can just see a set of the massive wheels of the shed canopy that allow it to open up and slide back into the building behind. To the left is Mika Rothenberg's sculpture, Foot Fountain, Pink. Doesn't look like anybody activated the sprinkler on top with the nearby controls, though.
What's that?
I like that they have left and restored some of the old railroad equipment, like these track switches. It's about to get really windy as we get hit by the breeze off the Hudson in the upper New York Bay. I'll try to filter it out a bit. Looking north over 11th Ave and the MTA West Side Rail Yard. The Pershing Square beams here are a climbing and play area. This last section of the line is much more in its original form and shows what the rest of it looked like at the beginning of the restoration reuse project. You can see how without any landscaping or human intervention, how many plants, shrubs, and trees have just self-seeded on the rail bed. The views along the Hudson really open up along here. That helicopter sounded like it was hovering really close by. Apparently, that is where flyblade.com does have a riverside heliport. As you can see, the surface is now semi-loose and gravelly here. Here's a view looking east of Hudson Yards. There's an elevated seating area here, as you might have seen. I'll try to stay out of their photo shoot. This curve begins to descend a gentle ramp back to street level at the West 34th end of the line. Straight ahead of us is the Javits Convention Center. It is a little inauspicious finishing over a parking lot, but the views are still great, and it's a cool experience. It might be more interesting to walk from this end down to the southern end. And here, to the ubiquitous New York City sound of an ice cream truck, we reach the northern end of the High Line. This was just the main original line. We didn't explore that new extension from the shed east to Moynihan Train Hall, or around Hudson Yards, perhaps in a future video. And there may also be a future extension to the south with the upcoming Gansevoort Square project. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this walk, and maybe it'll inspire you to see it for yourself. It is a unique way to see New York City, and a nice bit of green space in the city. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you did the entire route with us. Please subscribe to the channel to see more walks like this I'll be posting soon, and it helps promote the channel. Also, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. Along with your comments and suggestions, it's much appreciated. See you next time. Bye for now.